Hello, you beautiful creature. My name is Alexandra with This Is Improv, and I am here to talk to you and your beautiful self about prepping for a presentation. I know all of us have had those moments in a presentation where we don't quite know or remember what to say. I also know that a lot of presentations are happening virtually now. So I am going to review preparation for presentations in person and online. First, let's cover in person. When you're preparing for a presentation, which is quite the tongue twister right now, but when you're prepping for it, you want to make sure that you do understand your material. You should never present on something that you know absolutely nothing about. We'll cover that in a second. When you are going to have a presentation, you should definitely prepare for it at least 2 days in advance. I'm not saying research-based. If there is research that goes along with your presentation, you should definitely be working on that much longer than 2 days prior. But a minimum of 2 days of rehearsal I'm talking about. Now I know the word rehearsal is often just used with theater things, but you need to rehearse. You rehearse for weddings, you rehearse for funerals, you rehearse for the school talent show. Because practice doesn't always make perfect, but it makes you pretty presentable. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have all of your materials. What is it that you need for this presentation? Do you need another person? If you have a partner, do you need to set up a meeting with them and work out the presentation that way? Also, if you are using any sort of materials such as an actual PowerPoint or Keynote or Prezi, whatever it is you choose to use, or if you're choosing to hand out a document, do you want this document to look a certain way? Make sure that whatever you choose, whether it is a computerized presentation or a paper handout, you want to make sure that it emulates what you're trying to hit. Is it a more familial vibe? Is it a more laid back vibe? Then you shouldn't have so many squares, so many boxes on your presentations. Visuals are everything when it comes to theater, right? You go, you see a show, you see a set. The set symbolizes the personality of the characters that are there or sets the tone of what we are presenting to you. So when you are doing a presentation, pay attention to colors. Color signifies meaning. Blue is calming, yellow is hunger, red is passion, green, envy. Whatever it is, make sure to pay attention to those minor details because those minor details can really sell your presentation. It also shows that you actually put thought into it. You want to make sure that you are what they're paying attention to because you are the selling point. If they're so out of focus of what you're saying and they're only looking behind you at the presentation or only looking at their papers at the presentation, that shows uninterest and it shows avoidance. You want to make them look at you. How do you do that? I am going back to play. I did an entire video about play, and play is an acronym that goes off the basis of improvisation. Play stands for presence, leaning in and letting go, acceptance, yes and I add an exclamation point, and that is your shock. These 5 things are the key to anyone's attention. You want to be present in the moment. Talk to these people before you do your presentation. Just be yourself. Yourself is the one who is about to go up there in front of about 30 people or 100 people or 1,000 people. And you are the one responsible for selling whatever it is that you are selling, even if the thing you are selling is yourself. You're gonna want to rehearse this presentation. I cannot stress this enough because I know I said it about 2 seconds ago, but you truly need to rehearse your presentation. If you don't rehearse your presentation, you're gonna stumble when you get up there, unless if you use improvisation. Now, when you are unsure of what to say, when you feel as though your presentation has been cut too short, when you feel as though you need to add a little bit something because you are losing your crowd, use improvisation techniques to get them back in. Remember, during play, I have an exclamation point for shock. Shock doesn't always mean scare them. We don't want to scare them. You want to shock them or get their attention. Because when you go up there, don't think of it as, oh, they're all staring at me. Oh, they're all looking at me. Of course they are. And they're about to have to switch with you and be in the same exact position. You are in a room of your peers, and you should know that this is a learning experience. Everything is a learning experience, even if you are the vice president of a company and you have to make a presentation, the monthly or weekly one about whatever it is that you have to make a presentation about. You're in a room full of your peers. They respect you. And if you feel that they don't, then you should impress them so much that they do. And you do that in how you present yourself. Make sure that you are not scrunching your face. Make sure that you are not tightening your body. When you close off your body, it closes it off to a person. You want to be present in the moment and accepting, right? So you need to open up your body. Again, think back to play. You're leaning in and you're letting go. What are you letting go of? Fear. Your own fears. Because they are that. They are your own. And it's okay if you're nervous to get up there. If you think your boss wasn't nervous his first presentation, you are completely wrong. Everyone has been nervous for a presentation in some way, shape, or form. That's why you get the ums, the people that laugh at themselves, or the stutters. There's also one of my favorite terms to say that I used to get from a director called dancing. Now I say dancing because, again, this is for an in-person presentation. Your feet tend to go back and forth, and you go into this rhythm, and it's you dancing. You need to move your body because you don't know what to do with your hands. And the only way I can say to practice grounding yourself, because you need to ground yourself to show that you are assertive, not passive, is to, again, practice. Practice standing still. A lot of times I took those little sand weights that you put around your ankles that they have lying around somewhere. You gotta have them somewhere. Or the weights that you've never used before, which again I have, and you put them on top of your feet, or you put them around your ankle, or you box yourself in, and this will keep you grounded. It shows you, because when you stand still, you are becoming more assertive. You are using your body to actually tell the story. And in telling this story, you are becoming more passionate in it. You're able to use your body to tell more of the story. Now, I'm not telling you to stay still for the entire presentation. I'm just telling you not to pitter-patter back and forth. When you do that, it becomes extremely distracting. Now, I said no dancing. But if it does help, try to wiggle your toes in your shoes. No one can see you wiggling your toes, unless it's very aggressive wiggling, which I don't recommend because then you will eventually fall over. The reason why assertive is a much better approach during a presentation is because that means you know what you're talking about. You're not doubting anything that you are talking about. You are telling them what this means. You are telling them how this goes. And that's what you want because confidence is key. Now, virtual. Think the virtual heavens above for virtual meetings. The great thing about virtual is that first things first, you're sitting in a chair. If you need to stand up for the presentation, you can. Just remember to move your camera. But you want to be in a place that has a blank background, okay? So this would go. Now you've got a cleaner space, right? You also want to make sure to not have a fan going in the background because it can cause epileptic attacks. I know it sounds very serious, but I learned that recently from a nurse, and I'm going to share it with the world. If you have a blank background behind you during your presentation, especially for a Zoom meeting or whatever program you use, it's going to help them focus on you, not your background. You don't want them to focus on the background at all. You are the one in charge of the presentation. If your presentation does consist of you showing something off where you have to share your screen or something, make sure you've cleaned your screen. If it is a regular presentation, again on Prezi or a PowerPoint or a Keynote or whatever it is, you want to pay attention to color still. Like I said, presentations are based off of personality, so know your audience. You're going to want to know who you're talking to. Now, the virtual world is much different than the physical world, isn't it? People are laying on a couch or they are on their phone because they don't know how to work the computer, but you still have to catch their attention. Always ask how someone's doing. Always give it back to them. Does anyone have questions about what I just said? That puts the pressure on them and lets them know that you require their attention. One of the things I will say time and time again about presenting something, and that is to have a smile on your face. Not for the entire time, but at least at the beginning and at least at the end of the presentation. I'm not telling you to laugh through your presentation. I'm telling you that when you smile, you engage. It's endearing for anyone to smile. I am a huge criminal in the terms of not smiling during presentations because I get very nervous. But you work through it. When you smile, it shows calm. And again, assertive. Now I'm saying this because it's the same for in-person and virtual. Virtual, even if you have a background with you, make sure your background is clean because a blank space is perfect for putting on a background behind your meeting. Or get one of those nifty little $20 green pieces of cloth and put it up behind you. Make sure that your microphone is working. I repeat, make sure that your microphone is working. You want them to hear you clearly and concisely as though it was in person. And again, I will say be present, be in the moment, and really become engaged, even if it's virtual. Pretend like you're in person. Get the attention you deserve for the hard work you put into that presentation. Using improvisation in your presentation. You're going to forget something. At some point in your life, giving a presentation, you're going to forget something. But remember how I said you should know your subject. So, if you could forget a specific point, if you forget a key point, keep talking. I'm not saying ramble. I'm saying bring up another topic of it. It might remind you of what you were supposed to say before, but at least you're keeping them engaged. And that is all I have on presentations for today. I want to say a huge thank you and a happy new year. We are in the new year, and This Is Improv is just so excited to see all the love and support we have gotten throughout 2020 and going into 2021. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this video today. I hope this makes it a little bit easier the next time you have a presentation, whether it be for school or for work. Don't forget, if you have any questions you want to ask us, you can always email us at one of the emails linked down below. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff to keep This Is Improv going online. The most important one is that bell notification so that you can stay up to date on all of our videos. If you look at the description down below, you will also see a list of organizations or websites to help educate yourselves on some things going around in the community or in the world. If you have anything you think that we should add to the list, again, please email us down below. We also have virtual classes, so go to www.thisisimprov.com to sign up for classes today about improvisation, writing, corporate team building, improv for life, or personal classes. My name is Alexandra. Thank you so much for joining me today. Goodbye.